Hello and welcome. I'm Andy Jones, and today I'm going to be fulfilling a request by the wonderful Ronny from the Night Dreamers Reactor-Side Discord server. That's a server on Discord where Nightwish fans gather together and basically just talk about how wonderful the band is and discuss videos that we've seen about them, all kinds of things. And Ronny was one of the first kind of welcoming, friendly faces that I saw when I got onto the server. And he showed me the ropes a little bit on there, and he had a request for when my channel gets a bit more established, and it's working its way up a little bit now, so I thought it was time to deliver for Ronny. And this is going to be a review of Nightwish performing Sahara, and that'll be in Tampa, Florida. And of course that means that Floor's on vocals. Now, I am aware that there are fans of Annette who are asking, where are my reviews of videos with her singing? And I am working on that. The problem, which I guess many of you know about already with Annette, is that there's not a whole lot of great live footage. There isn't an official DVD or anything that's kind of excellent quality. So there's a couple of shows that I've got on my radar. One of them is the Werchter Festival, and another is the Jazz Festival in Montreux. I am looking through those and figuring out which songs I might want to take from that to look at Annette in more detail. If you have specific requests for Annette, then do go ahead and stick them in the comments here, and I will see if I can get to them and whether they work in the plans that I currently have. I have to admit it's difficult to keep everybody happy. Some people are requesting just Annette with no comparison to anybody else. Others are requesting the evolution of a specific song from Taya through to Annette through to Floor. So I want to keep everybody happy, but it's hard to do that. So I will do my very best. I have got a plan that I'm concocting to get through some Annette songs as well in the near future, maybe some of them just by herself and some of them in comparison with others. I don't compare for the purposes of discussing who's better. I have no interest in discussions of who's the best singer. I appreciate them all. They all have their chapters in Nightwish. Taya and Annette are both original vocalists on some of the songs that Floor was singing when she first joined Nightwish on tour. Now Floor is the original vocalist of 2 albums worth of material as well. So I think they all deserve respect. I don't think we need to be having debates about who's the best. Maybe there's a vocalist that we are particularly drawn to in a certain song. Maybe there's one who just kind of takes a song and makes it their own. And that's okay. That's cool. But we don't need to talk about who's the best singer. Honestly, we can appreciate everybody, right? We can appreciate peanut butter on sandwiches. We can appreciate chocolate spread on sandwiches. It's just the same. We can appreciate both of them. Floor and Annette have both sung Sahara. They've both done great versions. So today, I'm going to fulfill that request and deal with Floor's version. That doesn't mean that I won't be back sometime with Annette's. Okay, so if you're waiting for that, let me know, and I'll try and move it up my list a little bit. But for now, without further ado, let us go to Tampa and check out Sahara with Floor at the helm. Let's do this. As solid a start as you can really get to a piece of what I would call kind of hard rock music in this case. We've got a really cool melody at the beginning that Thomas played, and then the band kicks in, and Kai's doing great. He's really busy. He's doing a lot of fantastic little tom fills in there, and it's lovely to see Empu playing a few pinch harmonics straight away in the introduction. That's what I like to see. More of that, please, Empu, more. And Troy's got a guitar in his hands. Which, I mean, I know he plays guitar, but it's the first time I've done a review where he's had one on him, and he's had the bouzouki, or he's had his whistle, but I don't think I've reviewed a song where he's been playing guitar yet. So this is a first. Excellent. And I've got to admit, I don't hear him very well in the mix there, but he's there. And Marco looked great. He was doing what he does. He was sounding wonderful, and we haven't got really complex chords that are happening at the beginning, so he's probably a little under-challenged with that bit. But I know there'll be more to come with Marco, right? So let us jump in and see what happens next. Spoiler alert, and you know, I can do this because this is a review video and not a reaction, so I'm not seeing this for the first time. But spoiler alert, what Empu's just played there is the melody of the chorus, and it's not the first time I've talked about this. Nightwish are great at kind of planting melodies in our minds. Earworms, we call them in German, Ohrwürmer, and we've kind of taken that into our English lexis now with earworms. And Thomas and Empu are great at that, because it's usually they that are playing the lead instrument, although Troy often does now as well. And you'll hear that again. And it's usually in the vocals, often in the chorus. And wait and see. It'll be there. Okay. I hate to keep pausing like this, I really do. We'll go back and listen to it again. But does nobody else, I mean, you've heard this before, most of you probably. So when that happens, does nobody else want to kind of go, hey, I'm your life? That sounds like Sad But True. It sounds like Sad But True by Metallica. That little riff there. Every time I've heard it, it's just been automatic in my head to want to kind of just do the hey from Sad But True at the end of it. And I feel a little disjointed from myself when Floor starts singing this instead. But I'm sorry if that's now placed Sad But True in a place where it wasn't previously in your mind. But I mean, my job is to talk about what I notice, so I had to. Okay, let's jump back in. Let's go back and watch the Sad But True riff again, and then we'll listen to the vocals finally with Floor. Here we go. Okay, so what I like about this song is it's not all that complicated in terms of what's happening in the song structurally. There's not a lot of massively different parts, at the moment at least, for us to concern ourselves with. We've just got a really solid rock verse and chorus. Verse goes straight into the chorus. You've got not many lyrics. It's not a lyrically heavy song. From what I remember, you know, Thomas wanted to have a song just kind of thinking back to an alternative version of ancient Egypt and just painting a picture. And you've got the philosopher and the queen who, you know, have been having an affair, and the philosopher's probably going to get caught and put to death, something like that. And just going back to the, you know, the 1001 Nights reference. And so it's not massively complicated, either lyrically or musically so far. It's a great solid rock riff, wonderful vocals over the top of them from Floor, and I like the fact that Floor looks like she's really just having fun with this song. You know, she's not overthinking it, she's just, you know, dancing around a little bit on the stage and enjoying it. And I like to see that. I think it's lovely to kind of see Floor not focusing on just this kind of amazing vocal performance that she always gives, and she does here too, but because it's not quite so complex, she can also focus a little bit more on having some fun there. So yeah, really enjoying it so far. Let's carry on. Now then, again, you know, not much difference between the first and the second verse, except for some different lyrics in the second verse. I just noticed, and that's why I paused, I just noticed that Troy was reaching for his ebow. And, you know, if you've watched reaction channels before, especially someone like Chase Carnison, you don't need me to tell you what an ebow is, because Chase does it every time it appears. And he's far more of an expert on that than I am. But I noticed Troy grabbed it, and that's just another thing that Troy can do. Troy seems to just be able to really do everything. He's a shapeshifter instrumentally. He's kind of, I don't know if there's anything that Troy can't play. And I'd genuinely be interested to have some kind of challenge set up to see if we can find the instrument that Troy is incapable of playing. I would like to do that. Can we do that? Let's do it. Hashtag what can't Troy do? We need that. I think he is the music man. You know the song, I am the music man, I come from far away and I can play, and then he has all the instruments he can... That's Troy, right there. I digress. Troy has his ebow and he's ready to use that. It is a shame, I believe that Troy is placed quite far back in the mix, so that it's difficult to hear what he's doing. I would like to have him further forward in the mix, because it seems that he's not particularly prominent in what I can hear there. I mean, he and Empu have both been playing electric guitar thus far. Perhaps he's just been drowned out by Empu a little bit. Let's see, I guess, when we carry on. But, yeah, that's what I wanted to tell you. Okay, we get into the instrumental part, and fortunately, I think, Troy was turned up a bit in the mix there, because then we got to hear what he was doing with the ebow, and sounded great, and supported beautifully by Empu and Thomas, and of course Marco. And you know, I can't really say a great deal about what Marco is doing, except that he's playing the bass really well, which he always does. He's not really doing any kind of special licks that I can hear, although I have to admit, again, he's not that far forward in the mix as he is in some of the songs that I've reviewed thus far. So this seems to be a very kind of keyboard, drum, and guitar-centric mix, of course with the vocals too. So I think Marco and Troy both suffer from that a little bit, but still sound great. Now, what I also like is the way that Flora is very, very playful with the lyrics. She's doing a lot of kind of trills on each line in the verses, and she's playing with the notes, which I enjoy, because it means she's having fun with it too. So, yeah, Let's carry on. Oh, what I wanted to mention also in this kind of louder vocal part, it's easy not to notice that because he's not in the picture at the time, but Floor's singing the lead and Marco's duplicating what she's singing an octave lower. So it sounds very full there, and that's why, you've got that same kind of effect that you have in Last Ride of the Day, where Marco's singing the same thing as Floor but an octave lower. So you have that volume vocally. So there's not a harmony there. There is the choir behind them with the harmonies in the track, but they're both duplicating the same vocal melody there. Right. Well, that seems like a good place for a pause. They've just been waiting to kind of give us YouTubers pauses, right? So finally, we hear a bit more of Marco. Beautiful. And he's mostly doing those licks on his higher strings. And they sound beautiful. They sound really, really cool. I have the suspicion that he was pushed forward a little bit in the mix for that. But yeah, great to hear. And one thing I forgot to mention, by the way, before is how under the louder part that they were singing there, the bridge, I guess we call it, Kai also switched the timing around. And that's not just a Kai thing. Yuka did the same thing, just kind of in the middle of the bar, switch the timing around. So switch the structure of the beat around in the bar. And that can be really confusing, especially being a vocalist trying to sing over that. And that shows what a professional Floor is, just unfazed entirely by the flip over in the rhythm. And yeah, sounds excellent. Okay, now they've gone all quiet. I'll take us back so we can have the effect of that pause before we carry on. What a great belt there. It's a word that lends itself to it. These shorter words like and the, they're quite easy words to put a belt on because they don't have these long kind of E or air sounds. And the, easy words to extend and to push out with that belt. So great, fantastic. And again, I just want to appreciate the smiles. Both Kai and Empu, lovely little happy faces while they're playing this fantastic piece of hard rock. So great. To the end now. Yeah, they're good. They are good. And we're here because we know that, right? So there's a few things, and we may have to go back and look at that ending again, because a lot happened there. And, you know, we went out of that double chorus, and we went into this part where Floor was singing the Hey Yas, which Annette also sang. And what I really like there, firstly, is Kai's offbeat on his, I believe it was his second hi-hat. He's got one on the usual side, so, you know, his left, your right, that does the regular kind of hi-hat beats, but he's got another one on his right-hand side. And that seems to be kind of a higher hi-hat, a high hi-hat, a higher hi-hat, whatever they call that, a hi-hat that's higher. And he's doing that on the offbeat, so underneath Floor singing. Sounds great. Really cool detail. Then we get to the end of that part, and she sings the 1001, and she does a fantastic bend from one note to the next, so to move from chord to chord. That one is a great way of doing that, of accomplishing that, from getting to from that part to the next one. And the drum beat underneath that, the tom fill that Kai does, is just great work. Really great. The end, we have Troy playing an ebow solo that we can barely hear. Far too far back in the mix. Unacceptable, really. But it's there, and it's a simulation of what Troy's just sung, this AR melody. And Troy's playing that, and we can only just hear him. So I would have loved to have heard more of him doing that. But it is what it is. And at the end, we have the 1001 sing again, and their Floor's really gone up to a head voice. She's taken it away from a kind of mixed voice, and she's gone up to the very top and just using this gentle head voice to kind of sing that last line, which is something you've not really heard from her at all during the song. So it's a nice touch at the end to have that difference. Yeah. So really good piece of music. I have to admit, I feel it's a bit underrated. It's not a song that I concentrated on a great deal earlier in Nightwish's career. And, you know, I've seen them play this live. It was in the Dark Passion Play tour in Dortmund in Germany. And it must have been around 2009-ish, I guess. So, yeah, the Dark Passion Play tour. And I don't remember it being a highlight for me in that particular concert, but here, really getting to enjoy it. It's growing on me a lot. So I have to thank Ronny for the request there that put me back in touch with the song again. So yeah, thank you very much, Ronny, and I hope there's some helpful insights in there for you. So yeah, I think that's all the analysis I have right now on that. So let's just jump into the outro room before we say goodbye. Yeah, that was Sahara. So like I say, this was the Floor version of Sahara being played live. And of course, I'm aware that there are a couple of clips out there of Annette singing the same song. If you'd like to hear a review of Annette's rendition of Sahara, so essentially the original version, right, then do let me know. And I'm sure that we can fit that in here on the channel as well. If there's anything else you'd like to hear reviewed by Nightwish or indeed by anybody else, then do let me know as well in the comments, and I will see what I can do for you. And I am getting relatively close to the 1,000 subscribers that I need in order to unlock community features on YouTube. So if you would like to see me accomplish that, and there are reasons to see me accomplish that, because it means that I will be able to start doing some live streams for you. And in the very first live stream, I will be doing a live review of The Poet and the Pendulum by Nightwish. That's a milestone. So if you'd like to see that, do remember to subscribe to the channel, and also preferably hit the bell so you know when I'm going online. And then you may notice and see that live stream when it happens. So do connect, and also connect with my social media channels. You'll see them listed on here as well. And right now I'm running some polls on Instagram that I can't run on YouTube, so that is worth connecting with. But also you may see a bit of my own music floating around there, and I always love to hear some feedback on my own songs too. So don't be afraid to connect there. Finally, on my Patreon channel, I'm doing a bunch of bonus content. I'm doing outtake videos. I'm doing a patrons only stream at some point. And I'm also doing bonus reviews that don't make it onto the YouTube channel. So it is worth going to see. Also some early demos of mine and some performance videos of mine. So there's lots in there and very affordable plans. So if you'd like to connect, go ahead and check that channel out too. And in the meantime, I think I've got through everything here as well. Thank you all for watching. Until next time, bye bye.